I also want to turn to the other story that's breaking at the moment. The UN Secretary-General has now made a statement saying he hopes that a military confrontation will be avoided. The UN Secretary-General has spoken saying it's time for maximum restraint. Military solution is no solution. Will support any initiative on de-escalation. All of this taking place against the backdrop of a UN Security Council meeting that's likely to take place this evening. Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary-General, making those remarks. And all of this coming against the backdrop, as I said, of a UN Security Council meeting that's likely to take place later this evening. First, listen in to what Antonio Guterres said a short while ago.
Tensions between India and Pakistan are at their highest in years. I deeply respect and I am profoundly grateful to the government of people of both countries and their significant contributions to the work of the United Nations, not least UN peacekeeping. And so it pains me to see relations reaching a boiling point. I understand the raw feelings following the awful terror attack in Baha'u'llah on 22 April. I once again strongly condemn that attack and extend my condolences to the families of the victims. Targeting civilians is unacceptable, and those responsible must be brought to justice through credible lawful means. It is also essential, especially at this critical hour, to avoid a military confrontation that could easily spin out of control. Now is the time for maximum restraint and stepping back from the brink. That has been my message in my ongoing outreach with both countries. Make no mistake, a military solution is no solution. And I offer my good offices to both governments in the service of peace. The United Nations stands ready to support any initiative that promotes de-escalation, diplomacy, and the renewed commitment to peace.
Joining me now is our Diplomatic Affairs Editor, Geeta Mohan, joins us. Geeta, those statements by Guterres coming ahead of a Security Council meeting later this evening, is this the United Nations in its familiar style trying to play the role of a neutral umpire, even though, as we've seen in Israel and in Ukraine, the United Nations has been a complete failure? So how do you interpret the remarks being made by Guterres at this moment?
Well, Rajdeep, we do know that the United Nations in many ways than one is a toothless tiger when it comes to implementation of the international rules, norms and laws. Having said that, the United Nations Security Council is indeed meeting around 3 p.m. New York time, which would be around 12:30 a.m. here in India. This is at the behest of Pakistan, given that Pakistan is a non-permanent member of the Security Council at this point in time. The 2-year tenure that each country serves as a non-permanent member, the 10 countries, and Pakistan is in the room, and therefore they've called for the meeting as an emergency meeting on the situation at the border between India and Pakistan. Having said that, while we see the United Nations Secretary-General, not the first time, this is probably the second or the third time that he's not just offering the good offices of the United Nations, but also saying that military solution is no solution, that they should be looking at a diplomatic route. Even as that is happening, we're looking at India sounding out an alarm, so to say, to various states, saying that they should be prepared. So expect something from India. No other than the Prime Minister himself, Rajdeep, and then the Defence Minister said that there is going to be a response very soon. So expect something from India. This time around, India has made it very clear to the international community that if they really want solution to the crisis between India and Pakistan, they need to rein in Pakistan rather than asking India not to retaliate.
Geeta Mohan joining us with those details ahead of that big Security Council meeting. Appreciate you joining us now.